Hello, Cancer. I'm Ulrich. I'm a Lenormand card reader, and today we will do the financial card reading for the sign of Cancer. The deck contains 44 cards. You see 3 cards here in front of me, and also 4 objects, meaning we will do 4 card readings for the sign of Cancer for the month of September. From these 4 objects, you choose or you pick one that you think relates most to your personality, or you choose one you feel most comfortable with. This object of your choice, it should relate the best to your current financial situation or the advice that you are receiving from the cards. Of course, you can watch all 4 videos, and then after you watch all 4 videos, you can then decide which sign or which symbol is fitting you the best. The matches here represent the fire group. The stone represents the earth or the earth element. The aerosol sprayer represents the air element, and the shell represents the water element. So Cancer, here we go for your card reading, financial card reading for September 2021. Hello Cancer, and welcome to the shell or the water group for your financial card reading for September 2021. Before we start, I want to mention that starting 27 September up to 18 October, Mercury is going retrograde. It's not a good idea during that time to sign contracts. Anything you need to put your name under that officialize it, it's not a good idea to do so. You will also see that time your bus is late. Packages that you need to receive at home don't arrive, or they arrive at the wrong destination, or the containers is wrong. It's also not a good idea during that time to buy cell phones or laundry machines. Why? These things are connected to a warranty, and the warranty is connected to the contract. So during that time, if you can avoid, it's best not to sign or go or undergo any commitments of that kind. However, if for some reason you are obligated to sign a contract, whatever, for a house or whatever, double, triple check the contract, because it's possible after you change your mind. You change your mind, or you saw something afterwards in the contract you don't like, or there are some clauses in the contract you disagree with, but you cannot get rid of the contract anymore. So my advice for you would be during this period not to sign any contracts at all. So this being said, we start now for the card reading. The first card that you see here is paying in cash. Well, what does this card exactly mean? Well, most of us now these days pay always with credit card. So most of the time we are not aware anymore what we are exactly spending. It's like we don't have a direct overview in our financial situation. So we cannot calculate our expenses exactly. So this card asks you if you want to get a better control over your finances, and if you want to, one of the best ways to do this is to pay cash. Psychologically, as we know, if we pay cash, for instance, if we have money in our wallet and we take the money out and we overhand it to the cashier or the person we need to pay, it creates a form of pain with us. But with bank cards, we don't have that. We just go over it. So also, actually, when you take the money out of your wallet, you see the banknotes disappearing. And every time you look at your wallet and you tell, oh, it's gone already, the money. So this gives you a feeling with the money. You get in touch with the money, and also it will avoid you for paying or buying things that are unnecessary. So actually here also we can say that it's no coincidence that traders and banks want to gradually eliminate paper money, because we live in a society where consumption is the highest form. So virtual payment is essential for these people because it makes you lose track of your expenses. So this card tells you take charge of your wallet, pay cash for all your purchases for 4 weeks, try to regain control of your money and the value of your money. And this card asks you, please take up that challenge. The next card here is the cards of discounts. What does this mean? Well, we all are very sensitive for discounts if we see them. Sometimes most of us, and maybe you in specific or this group, is very sensitive for discounts. We walk around in stores in hope to find the beautiful object that we are looking for, a piece of clothing, an electronic gadget, a product that has been discounted to a ridiculous amount. But this card asks you to understand every time that you buy a discounted item, you only get a good deal if you are able to buy the item at a price that is really discounted, because some storekeepers are very clever. So don't be overwhelmed and bewitched by sales. Keep yourself cool and ask yourself, what is the reasonable price here? And above all, of course, do you need it? By always looking around for discounts, probably you spend more than you anticipated. And is this really necessary? That is a question, of course, that you need to ask yourself. Also, these people who get these cards are people who tend to buy in bulk. So if you buy in bulk, that is all fine and it gives you a discount. But if you are a person that on regular base by the end of the month, you still have a lot of stocks and eventually you give them away to your brother, to your sister, to the neighbors, the things that you buy in bulk, is this really economizing? This is what this card also asks you. So don't overflow your house with items that will only accumulate and you give away, or buy gadgets that you eventually bring to recycling. So this card asks you to disregard discount and liquidations and let your wallet improve by it. The last card here is the card of creativity. So what does this card mean? Well, it means in the world of today, we can buy everything. We live in a society that suffocates our wallet and also our imagination. And in the end of the day, even if you are a creative person, it's like you choke your own creativity. In a short while, you probably, if you, for instance, look for a box for a present, with some materials in your house, you probably could make a box in a few minutes and it would save you a lot of money. But instead, you go to the store, you buy an expensive box that costs you a lot of money. So, and it's not really necessary because probably you can do that yourself. So with a little bit of inventiveness, you could prepare something that you really like. Also, for instance, if your child, your son or your daughter birthday is coming up, instead of buying an expensive pie, you can just make a cake or a pie yourself, and you save a lot of money with these activities. So this card tells you to be original. Originality is here the order of the day. So start thinking out of the box, literally, and ask yourself, what are your real needs and how could you spend money in a different way? So take some time today to question your own creativity. I'm sure you have, and think how you could be creative and save money at the same time. So make room for your imaginative spirit in your kitchen, in the place where you are, when you're cooking, embark on the adventure. This is what this card says. So Cancer, for the water group, this is all for this month. I hope you enjoyed this card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for doing so, and see you maybe next month. Thank you. Bye-bye. Hello, Cancer, and welcome to the Aerosol or the Air group for your card reading for September 2021. Before we start, I want to mention that Mercury is going retrograde starting 27 September up to 18 October. This is not a good time to sign contracts. Anything you need to put your name under that, officialize it, it's better not to do so. Also, it's not a good time to buy gadgets like cell phones, laundry machines. Why? These articles are connected to a contract of warranty, and sometimes problems with the warranties pop up. Anyway, the general idea here is not to sign any contract. You also notice that your bus is late, your flight is canceled, packages that need to be delivered in your home are delivered in the wrong destination, or the containers is wrong. These are all things that are happening during Mercury retrograde. The problem is our mind, our collective mind from all the people is working a little bit slower during that period. So it's best not to sign any contracts or agreements during that period. If, however, for some reason you have no choice, you feel compelled, or there is a reason why you need to sign, please double, triple check the contract, because it's possible after you discover there's some clauses in the contract you don't like, you change your mind, you cannot get rid of the contract anymore, and you're blocked. So during that time, it's not a good idea to sign contracts here. So, Cancer, here we go for the air group for your card reading. The first card that we see here is that this card reminds us that we need to respect small amounts of money. What does that mean? Well, a lot of people who had a serious amount of money or who were well off, they came in financial problems for existence by spending small amounts of money. The reason is they didn't calculate. So after spending a lot of small amounts, it calculates to big amounts in the end. So this card asks you to think about the way you spend. And also, if you, for instance, get an invoice and the invoice is small, do you give it your attention? Do you really mind if the invoice is small or bigger? Also, advertisement, for instance, that from the type everything is discounted, it actually depreciates the value of our money. It causes us to consume more, and thereby it blinds us. So this card means that each coin that we spend is of great importance. So next time you visit a store, rate what you have bought. Look at all your articles and check what is necessary and what you don't actually need. So if you value the small amounts, it will prevent you from overspending, because this card, when people have these cards in order these groups, it's like they a little bit lost the track of the real value of their money. So this card tells you, give back the real value to the small amounts that you spend, small bills, and give it its moment of glory. So if you do so, you will accumulate serious amounts of money. The next card is in a little bit in the same lane. This is about balance of spending. What does this mean? Well, probably you're impatiently waiting on an increase of your personal salary, and you wonder about your current situation and the possibilities and progress in your company. Maybe you have a promotion hanging, but this card asks you, if you get this promotion and this increase of salary, would this really do you the greatest goods? This card makes you double think about it. This card tells you, actually, it's not. Regardless of what we earn, the annual salary, the monthly salary, what really improves our financial situation is our ability to adjust our expenses according to our income. So this card tells you that an increase in your salary will have no positive effect if you proportionally increase your expenses. With most of us, that's unfortunately the case. So this card tells you, you need to reevaluate. This card tells you to take authority and control over your expenses, and it's imperative to learn to limit yourself. It's important that you make the balance. Probably you have a bonus hanging here. That's why they tell you here now, if you respect the small amounts of money and the bonus that is coming and you make the balance, you will progress. We will go immediately after in the bonus, but I just go ahead a little bit here on the situation. So here, this card tells you, invest to better manage your daily expenses in relation to your earnings. You then focus on increasing your incomes. You keep your bonuses that you are going to get soon safe, and you use them for your savings. By doing so, you will have a better chance of improving your overall situation. And now we come here to the bonus. Probably you receive an annual bonus, or there's a bonus shortly to come. Maybe it's an annual bonus, a monthly bonus, or you work hard and maybe you're a salesman and you receive a bonus. And these amounts are often welcome. But what do we do with this money? The problem is, in some way, probably sometimes we spend it before it's there. We preview something or we incalculate something, so we are already in balance. And the balance here in the middle asks you not to do this time. Instead of doing so, pay, if you have some credit cards that not are balanced, pay them your credit cards. For instance, most of us pay for presents, and it's an additional expense. But don't spend your money on bonuses, on jewelry, on presents. Just keep it in your savings. Put it in a savings account and let it be there for a week, for a month, for 2 months. Just look at it and let it be there. It will not run nowhere. This is what this card tells you. So take a break from spending, find your balance. Take time to think about the exact amounts that you receive and the optimal use of your money. So you will avoid impulses from immediate spending or preventive spending or spending in advance. So this is what this card tells you. Balance yourself and keep your money where it is in your savings account. So Cancer, for the air group, this is all for this month. I hope you enjoyed this card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for doing so. And thank you for watching, of course, and see you maybe next month. Bye-bye. Thank you for now. Hello, Cancer, and welcome to the Stone or the Earth group for the month of September 2021. Before we start, I mentioned it in all groups. Starting 27 September, Mercury is going retrograde. It's not a good idea during that period for signing contracts, new contracts or agreements, anything you need to put your name under that officialize it. It goes from 27 September to 18 October. Also, you will see during that time your bus is late, your flight is cancelled, packages that are normally need to be delivered in your home are delivered on the wrong address, the containers of the package is wrong. Also, it's not a good idea to buy new cell phones or housekeeping equipment like laundry machines. Why? These articles are connected to warranty and there may pop up a problem with the warranty. The general idea here is not to sign any contracts at all. During this period, our mind, the collective mind from all people, is tending to work a little bit slower, and this is what actually causes the problems. So, but if for some reason you are obligated to sign a contract, you feel compelled or you have no choice, whatever, double, triple check the contract, because it's possible after you change your mind or you overlooked some clauses in the contract and you want to get out of the contract, you cannot anymore, or there are coming complications with the contract and you get in problems. Anyway, the idea is here, try to avoid not to sign any contracts during that period. Now, starting with the Stone group here for Cancer. So the first card we see here is the card for repayments of debts. What does this mean? Well, this probably means that in your credit cards and in your bank accounts, you accumulated some debts. And this card tells you or asks you if it's not time for developing a repayment strategy. If you are in that situation, don't be discouraged. It's by small steps, paying our debts that we get there. Don't give up before you begin. Secondly, make a list of the loans or the payments you need to do and write them their respective rates, especially with credit cards. You need to establish here priorities as third. You must first preview and then pay a minimum required for all your regular bills, of course, our monthly water, our rent, our food. So you need to balance yourself here. So on these credit cards, you need to start with the credit cards that have the highest rates. From the money that you have left that you save, you try to get rid of these high cards with high interests. The more cash you put in there, the more amounts of money, the less your credit charges will be. And the more money you will have available to pay other debts. So you need to get rid of these expensive credit cards and pay them back. Finally, also, if you're in that mode, you need to Stop spending money. We see here publicity. Probably this group is weak for publicities and they are easy to buy if they see publicity. Some people are very sensitive for publicity. So this card tells you just ignore that and pull yourself together. It's time now to reduce your debts and restrict your lifestyle. So don't wait any longer. This card, as I said, this is for the group of people who are sensitive for advertisements. It's everywhere. We know that. We are exposed to several advertisements, 100 advertisements a day. So it's difficult to be insensitive for this bombardment of merchandise information. It's everywhere. We know that. And sometimes we lose direction. We don't know anymore the essential from the unessential. So here, this card asks us to be conscious. Stop reading flyers, stop paying attention to publicity on the internet, on the buses, wherever you see. If you're a sensitive type, just try to regard it. Take a critical look at those things and just ignore recent trends. Just take care of yourself. Just focus. If you have made some debts, focus on repaying and balancing out yourself. You will see the world in a total different daylight. The last card here is a card that tells us we cannot rely on funds to come from other people. A lot of people here, maybe you have a very difficult situation in a large part of your life, but this card tells you you need to rely on yourself. If you can, if you're in a better situation after you get out of this situation, it's imaginary to think that we don't need nothing for our retirement. And if there is a large inheritance on your doorstep, also don't to be fooled. It's utopian and to rely on the parents' inheritance also to purely finance yourself or even finance your old age. Of course, unless your parents are already unfit, and then even you did not read their will, and therefore you are not sure that you are their sole heir. You only know when the notary or the lawyer reads their will, so don't make this mistake. Also, the life expectancy of people has expanded over the years, so there's a good chance that your parents will get much older than their ancestors. And as we get older, we need more money for pay for our services. So who can blame us that we like to have a good life when we get older? And also the second thing is like each individual has the right to change their testimony dispositions at any time. Also, we need to add here, who knows that your mother or father will not succumb to the young Venus or Cupid living next door on somebody they met on the internet, and he will not decide to favor him or her for certain amounts in expense of the descendants. We never know where we are going, so this card wants to tell us that we need to rely for the most on ourselves. It can be part of a retirement plan, it can be part of an expense analyze, but eventually we need to take care of ourselves. So plan your future independently from other people and you will come out as a winner. This is what this laying tells us. So Cancer, for the Stone Group, this is all for this month. I hope you enjoyed this card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for doing so and see you next month. Hello Cancer and welcome to the Fire Group for your card reading for September 2021. Before we start, I want to mention that starting 27 September, Mercury is going retrograde, meaning it's not a good time for signing contracts, agreements, anything you need to put your name under that officializes. It's not a good idea to do from 27 September up to 18 October. It's also not a good idea to buy any gadgets like cell phones or even laundry machines or microwaves. Why? These products are connected to warranties and sometimes afterwards there's a problem popping up with the warranty. The general idea here is not to sign any contracts. Also, you will see during that time period, your bus is late, your flight is canceled, packages that you wait on at home are delivered at the wrong address, or what you receive at home is wrong. These are all things that are happening when Mercury is running retrograde. It's because our mind, the collective mind of all people, is tending to go a little bit slower. Anyway, the general idea here is not to sign any contracts at all. If, however, for some reason you are obligated, you have no choice, you feel compelled to sign a contract, double, triple check the containers of the contract. Check all the clauses, because it's possible after you change your mind, you want to get out of the contract and you cannot anymore. Or there's some clauses in the contract that you don't like, you want to remove them, but you already signed, so there's no possibility anymore. So during that time, it's not wise to sign any form of contracts or anything that you need to sign. Coming back to the card reading, the first card we see here for the fire group of Cancer is we need to prepare ourselves sometimes for bad times. This is a harder card playing. Probably this group has some issues, some financial issues, because this card tells us we need to prepare ourselves, we need to balance our debts, and the last card is actually, or it can point to bankruptcy or a very heavy financial situation. Here, this card tells whatever situation we are in, there are always storms and there is always sunshine in life. So it's unrealistic to think that we don't need to prepare ourselves for certain difficulties in life. This card asks you, do you have a rescue plan? Do you still have a safety cushion? Here, this card tells you, you must realize that the unforeseen can come. It's unpredictable. We know that. We know it can happen. So if it happens, are we or this group, are they ready to face this financial turmoil? Or are you ready to face a sudden disruption? Did you prepare? How did you prepare? So ask yourself the following. Do you have enough insurance? Is your income stable? Is your car in good condition? Is it maintained? Is it secured? Do you have a little bit of savings? This is what all this card asks you. If you spend all you earn, so could you survive without a pay cut? So reflect here over the things that you cannot foresee. This is what this card tells us. So it asks you to act in control and be careful and avoid unnecessary expenses and incalculate the unforeseen. The second card that we see here, this is for a repayment of debts. It means maybe this group has accumulated a certain amount of debts. So this card tells us we need to imply a repayment strategy. So this card tells you also not to be discouraged. It's by small amounts we pay back, small steps that we eventually come in the finish line. So don't give up before you start it. So secondly, make a list. If you have loans or debts, write them down, write down the respective rates, and establish priorities. Also with the credit cards, get rid of the expensive credit cards first, meaning the ones with the highest interests. So try to accumulate an amount of money and put as much cash on this expensive credit card as you can, so you can get rid of those first. These are the cards probably that always give money, even though if they are already very high in minus. The more cash you administer, the less interest you have on these accounts, and it will help you to recover faster. And also the less credit charge you have. So with the money that you save, you can pay your additional debts or things that you need to pay. Finally, if you're in debt mode, please stop spending. This is what this card says. Think of your future, pull yourself together. Maybe you need to imply a more restrictive lifestyle for a while, but maybe this card tells you that it's the time now to do so, because the last card is also not the luckiest card here of the deck. It tells you that probably your financial situation torments you. Maybe you worry about money, about balances that you have. This card also points to a bankruptcy specialist that if we don't know anymore, that we need to ask somebody for help, maybe a social worker, maybe go to the bank and let us help, therefore see what we can do if we are in a certain debt mode or a debt position. here, this card tells you will need to start taking all the advantages and disadvantages. Make sure if you start debt repayment that you understand the situation very clearly, because if you are agreeing with debt programs, you need to follow them. So you will need to change, restrict your lifestyle. So this is what this card tells you. If you are lucky and you did not reach that point yet, and you still have financial worries, think about modification of your behavior. Because if you don't, this card tells you it could be get worse in the future. So try to avoid hitting the wall if you're not yet there. So if this card ends up here for this group and you recognize yourself in that, it means that you are in a difficult financial situation. So Aries for Cancer for the fire group. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe enjoying is the wrong word, but anyway, you liked the video. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for doing so. And I wish you the best of luck, and see you maybe next month for more positive news. Bye bye for now. Thank you.